Imagine waking up tomorrow with twice the money you have today. Take a moment and really visualize it. The notification from your bank, the sudden, profound absence of your most immediate financial stress. How long do you think it would take before that new number stopped feeling like a miracle? How long before it just felt normal? A year? A month? For most people, the psychological thrill evaporates in just a few short weeks, and then a quiet, familiar sinking feeling creeps right back in. The heavy, silent realization that even this is still not enough. Why does the finish line always seem to move the exact moment you cross it? Consider the story of a software engineer who spent his entire 20s grinding. He lived in a cramped apartment, skipped vacations, and worked late into the night, driven by one singular goal. He told himself, if I can just hit that six-figure salary, I will be secure. I will finally be able to exhale. And one day, he did it. The promotion was signed. The dream salary hit his account. For the first 2 weeks, he walked on air. He felt completely untouchable. But 3 months later, a strange thing happened. He wasn't happier. In fact, he was arguably more stressed. He wasn't celebrating his newfound wealth. He was just terrified of losing it. He started obsessing over market layoffs, inflation, and the monthly cost of the upscale lifestyle he had just upgraded to. The math in his life had changed completely, but the emotional weight stayed exactly the same. This is the trap of the modern mind. We tell ourselves that anxiety is a math problem, solvable with enough zeros. But the anxiety was never about the math. If you feel trapped in this endless cycle, I need you to understand something vital. You are not broken. You are not inherently greedy. And this hunger is not a flaw in your moral character. It is a highly evolved survival mechanism, working flawlessly. Evolution did not design your brain to be happy or satisfied. It designed your brain to keep you alive. To understand this, we have to look at a core mechanism in your neuroscience known as reward prediction error. When you set a financial goal, your brain floods your system with dopamine. Dopamine is not the chemical of joy, as many assume. It is the molecule of anticipation, the chemical of wanting. But once you actually achieve the goal, once the money is yours, the prediction is fulfilled. The brain recognizes the environment has changed, and it does something ruthlessly efficient. It recalibrates. Think of your brain like a digital thermostat in a house. If you open a window in a freezing storm, the heater kicks into overdrive. Your brain treats success the exact same way. It forcefully resets your emotional baseline. $1,000 feels life-changing when you have nothing, but when you have $100,000, $1,000 is barely a blip on your radar. The contrast is gone, and without contrast, the brain feels nothing. This biological reset is fiercely compounded by our environment. Imagine you finally buy the house you always wanted. It is in a beautiful, safe neighborhood. For the first few weeks, you are overwhelmed with deep gratitude. But slowly, your brain starts doing what it was designed to do, scanning the new environment for threats and status. You notice your neighbor on the left just bought a brand new luxury vehicle. You notice the neighbor on the right is renovating their kitchen with expensive imported marble. Suddenly, your beautiful new house feels completely inadequate. Your deep subconscious does not ask, do I have enough resources to survive comfortably? It asks, do I have more resources than the person standing next to me? Because in an ancient tribe, your status in the hierarchy dictated whether you ate or starved. Your modern anxiety about keeping up with your peers is just an ancient survival instinct wearing a modern disguise. But here is the real mind-bending twist of human psychology. The more money you make, the more you have to lose. And your brain does not celebrate what you gained. It protects what you might lose. This phenomenon is known in behavioral psychology as loss aversion. Neurologically, the pain of losing $100 is twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining it. When you are broke, you have absolutely nothing to lose, so your brain is entirely focused on acquisition. But as you build wealth, your brain's primary directive violently shifts from seeking reward to defending territory. Imagine walking empty-handed. Your arms swing freely. Now imagine walking while holding a fragile, priceless glass vase. You can no longer enjoy the walk. You are entirely consumed by the fear of dropping it or having someone bump into you. Wealth becomes that glass vase. That is why the millionaire is often more anxious than the struggling student. The student is playing to win. The millionaire is terrified of losing. So, how do you escape a game where the rules rewrite themselves while you are playing? You do not fight evolution. You outsmart it. Here is a practical framework to rewrite how your brain processes security. Step 1. Drop the cognitive anchor. You must write down a specific fixed definition of what enough looks like, entirely independent of your income. Why this works in the brain. The mind naturally relies on relative comparison, inflating your needs as your income rises. By creating a fixed written anchor, you force your frontal lobe to use absolute logic rather than relative emotion. For example, you write down, I need a safe 2-bedroom home, the ability to buy groceries without stress, and 1 quiet vacation a year. When your income doubles, You do not upgrade your life. You recognize the anchor has been met. The new money is surplus, not a new baseline. Step 2. Dopamine decoupling. You must consciously separate the feeling of accomplishment from the act of purchasing. Why this works in the brain? As long as your brain heavily associates spending money with dopamine spikes, you will endlessly crave more money. By redirecting your focus to intrinsic rewards, the mastery of a difficult skill, or the quiet peace of a morning walk, you literally rewire your neural pathways. For example, if you receive an unexpected bonus, do not celebrate by buying a luxury watch that will quickly lose its psychological shine. Instead, take a day off, turn off your phone, and spend the afternoon hiking with a friend. You physically signal to your nervous system. The money buys time, but the human connection is the actual reward. Step 3. Curate your baseline. You must ruthlessly edit the visual and social inputs that trigger your comparison trap. Why this works in the brain? Your brain automatically compares itself to its immediate visual environment. If you constantly look at people who have more, your brain floods your system with cortisol. Stop scrolling through curated feeds of people on private jets. Stop spending all your time with peers who only discuss status. Recalibrate your brain's perception of what normal actually is. If you commit to this, the quiet, humming anxiety in the background of your life will slowly lose its grip. I want you to think of wealth not as a steep mountain you are climbing, but as the horizon. If you try to walk to the horizon, you will walk forever. No matter how fast you run, it always recedes exactly at the pace you chase it. Money operates in the exact same way. It is not a final destination. It is simply a line of sight. The goal of a well-lived life is not to reach the horizon. The goal is to build a beautiful, sturdy home right where you are currently standing, while occasionally enjoying the view. You have spent so much of your life running toward a finish line that simply does not exist. But remember this, the richest person isn't the one who has the most. It's the one whose brain finally stops moving the finish line. Take a slow, deep breath. Look around you at the life you have already built. You finally have enough.